Smiths Falls, welcome back to the podcast, my friends. I've missed you oh so much, and I do hope that you've missed me. I've been gone quite a while. Why, you ask? Well, let's just say I was in jail. I wasn't, but let's just say it. No, I'm just joking, of course. I was busy getting my hustle on. As you may or may not know, I and my beautiful wife are co-owners of The Hub Music and Art in downtown Smiths Falls, and we've been getting this place going. We've been getting this place moving. We've been getting this place shaking. I've had to prioritize a few things, and the podcast just wound up on the back burner time and time again, and now we've hit a new plateau, a plateau where I can bring it back for Smiths Falls. And I am super excited about this podcast because here we have not one, but two guests today, partners in crime, double partners in crime. In fact, they are both together in two bands together. One of them plays bass and one of them plays guitar. Which one does which? Both of them. What? My head is exploding. You'll find out. You'll hear all about it. They got a little swappy situation going on there. They are musical partners in crime and friends for decades. Dan Marshall and Travis Giff. Band number one is Track Pilsner, who will be playing at Bowie's this Friday, October 11th, Thanksgiving weekend. It's going to be a great show. And band number two, Stagnant Torment. They are a hard rock, I'd say virgin on metal kind of band. And so we've got the two members of both those bands for you here tonight, my good friends, Dan Marshall and Travis Giff. Also, a few big shout-outs to a few local businesses who aided in the whole process of getting this off the ground. You may have seen a little video we've shared via the page that just sort of is a little homage to Smiths Falls, the town that we love, the town that we podcast about and from. And the businesses that made that possible were, of course, The Hub Music and Art, as well as Royal LePage, Say To, and Panko Financial Solutions. Thank you so much for being such great supporters of everything Smiths Falls. On to the interview. I know you, but not everybody else necessarily knows you. I mean, some people listening to this will know you, but we'll see.
Maybe.
See how many new friends we can make. Dan Marshall, tell me a little bit about yourself. I mean, I know some about you. You're a good buddy of mine, but tell the listeners in Smiths Falls. Quick synopsis. Dan Marshall. Who are you? What do you do?
I'm pretty much just a family man now. I've lived here, God, let's just say 35 years, just to be clean about the story.
Were you not born in Smiths Falls?
No, I was born in Elmont.
Oh, okay.
We kind of bounced back and forth between Carlton Place and Smiths Falls until I turned about 9. And I've had my roots in Smiths Falls since I was about 9. My childhood was definitely different than most. I was kind of a church boy, and I was homeschooled, so that was pretty much the biggest difference that I had from anybody else within this territory. Trying to find who I was without having a lot of connections with other kids, but hockey, and I did grow up in a neighborhood with a bunch of kids my age, so it was pretty good that way. Years went on. After high school, I tried leaving as much as I could, but it wasn't until about 23 I was home again, and I've been here ever since. I've had a bunch of different jobs. Never really had a focused career until I found my automatic door job, which is another rarity, I guess. I don't meet too many people who work on automatic doors at places, so.
Well, you got a lot more going on than that, like a lot of music stuff, right? And we're going to get to that. But first off, we got Mr. Travis Giff.
Hey, Travis.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for having me.
Right up on that mic, buddy.
Right up here.
Yeah, there you go. Tell us, like, how are you born here?
Yeah, same kind of thing.
So we got a lifer here.
Yeah, been here all my life, pretty much. So it's exciting, at least that's all I could say. Same sort of thing. Born in this town and been here all my life, in and out the surrounding region, I guess you could say, but pretty much in Smiths Falls, and grew up here, know a lot of people here, family man, working 9-to-5 job and playing music with this crazy guy pretty much all my life. Kind of met him back in high school, and we had a couple bands where we'd play the talent shows, and we would play open mics and that sort of thing. Had a few bands together, and over the years, we're in and out of them, as you know how music happens, and just ended up getting back together probably about 4 or 5 years ago. Dan, would you say?
Yeah, it's about 5 years ago we kind of started kicking off the idea of trying to get it back together. There was one stab at it maybe 8 years ago. We tried setting up something in my basement, and we tried going the ampless route. And because we didn't have a whole lot of technical savvy trying to make that happen, it never felt good in the room. We were too used to having acoustic instruments, live amplifiers, and it really sucked the energy out of every practice we tried to. The guys, it's never comfortable either when you're opening up your doors, no matter how close the friends are. Some people just feel like they're intruding on your space, and it kind of dampens the creative spirit. So we tried, but it just didn't ended up landing. And we were really happy when we ended up finding our studio space and getting that motoring just about 5 years ago. That was such a blessing to find that empty space where we could really get creative together.
Well, I'm glad about the way that it's worked out here, because truth be told, I had invited Daniel Kelly here tonight too, because I was thinking 4Track's got a show coming up, so that'd be great to have the whole band on. And he was not available, but in a way, I think this is even better because you guys have the long history together, and you guys are also both in not just one band, but two bands together, right? So we got 4-Track Pilsner, and we got Stagnant Torment.
Yep.
Give the people the elevator pitch for 4-Track. What is it you do? What are you all about? What kind of music is it? And what's coming up on the horizon?
So 4-Track Pilsner is all based off the original music that I've been writing since my teens with Travi. There were songs that I kept holding on to, playing at open mics for years and years and years, waiting to find the right group of people that wanted to follow along on the journey. So because that music is stretched over so many years, there's not really a label to the sound or complete genre that it sits underneath, but the best blanket that you could put it underneath would just be calling it indie rock. And find Trav on bass, and when we found Daniel Kelly to play drums, it opened up my eyes on how I always imagined the music to find its spot. It was really exciting to get our first show out of the way a couple years ago, and we've just been working hard trying to remaster these songs and find the right energy. And I'm really excited for Bowie's on Friday. It's going to be just a great show. I always love playing in that room.
We'll give you a plug while we're on it. This coming Friday, October 11th, at Bowie's, which is 20 Russell Street East. 2 shows, right?
2 shows, 9 and 11.
9 p.m. and 11 p.m. Come on out. Come on out for one. Come on out for both. Smiths Falls, 4-Track Pilsner, indie rock at Bowie's.
Yeah, this has been a really great year for us. Most musicians, if you're listening to this, you've been in bands, you know that the first year can definitely swing in so many different ways. You can either feel like it's not going the way that you wanted it to, or you have that feeling of something special. But it does take time. Being a family man and only having one night a week possibly to put the practice in to hone in the songs, it takes time. You have to keep pushing at it, and I'm very happy to have Trav keep kicking my butt to make the songs better. But I definitely couldn't do it without that guy, for sure. Yeah,
you two have like a little arrangement going. It reminds me of that reality show that was out like 15 years ago, Wife Swap, but it's kind of like Bass Swap.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because you're guitar and 4-track, and Trav, you play bass and 4-track, but then you
switch her up.
Flip it right around, switch her up.
Yeah, we flip it around. It's but that's when Trav and I first got together 5 years ago. We truly didn't know what to do, and 4-track wasn't a thing at that point in time. Travis and I just were jamming around some of the sounds that come from Stagnant Torment. So Stagnant Torment is a hard rock focus, not indie rock like 4-track. And when we started the Stagnant Torment sound, we went through a pile of different people. We lost our drummer a couple times. We lost singers. But Travis should definitely give you the background on where we started with Stagnant, because he brought in one of his closest friends who was our first vocalist in that band. His name was Mike Steele, and just a fantastic singer that left us at such a time where we never thought we were going to get a band back together.
Is that over me?
Yeah. Ball's been passed to you.
Right, yeah, so it's in my court. Yeah, well, yeah, kind of like Dano mentioned, we started the project. We went through a lot of friends, a lot of different folks that were out there kind of wanted to be part of something. Some stuck around, some didn't stick around, but what really happened was around the time the pandemic, a year before that was going to happen, Dano and I were both looking for a project, and we both had ads on Kijiji, and I ended up seeing his ad and was like, hey, dude, we should get together and jam because we both got Kijiji ads, and, we're looking for other musicians. So we did that, and we ended up getting a place, and we're jamming out riffs and buddies. We started out in Dan Turner's apartment, jamming out with a bunch of practice amps and that sort of thing on the couch, and cigarettes going, burning your eyeballs out, that sort of thing where you couldn't even see the music. But yeah, so we started that out, and then we ended up trying to be professional and got a space to jam. And
that's over at the Gallipo Center.
Yeah, we're out there at the Gallipo Center.
Is it still called that? It's been, somebody bought it, right?
That's, God could tell you who may or may not own that now.
Right.
It's
I heard, I'm speaking without authority. There's rumor mill central. I have no idea. I heard it got sold. I haven't seen the real estate listing up, so I assumed the rumor was true.
No, as rentals over there, we have no idea. No idea.
But you're still paying your rent to the same people so far.
Yep, and it still goes to the Gallipo Center. That's where the check signs to.
Yeah, so pretty much we got together, did that sort of thing for off, and then COVID hit, right? And we were off and on. We'd jam one week, lockdown for the other week, wipe down your guitars with sanitizer, that sort of thing, and take a nap for 2-3 years. And we ended up just getting, again, for the name of the band, stagnant, not practicing, not doing anything, not being able to really get together. And it was, tormenting, right? So then, hey, that's where it came out. And we jammed, and we're kind of here today. And that's kind of like, we're a hard rock band. We got Dano, like you said, playing bass on this one, rocking the bass, slapping the bass. We got John McDaniels on vocals, Caleb Russell on drums. And who else? We got me on guitar, Travis Giff on guitar.
Yeah.
So,
are you the main writer as the guitar player?
Yes.
I'm the person who brings some music, and everybody else contributes and writes with me. So I don't like to think of the main writer, just another
main riffer?
I'm the main guitarist.
Yeah.
Because I'm the only guitarist.
But the songs, your songs, do they start with the riffs?
Yes.
Typically,
like most heavier bands?
Yeah, it's definitely, Travis definitely doesn't want to take credit where he should in some cases, but I've always told Travis, in order for this band to sound like us, it's best that the riffs come from the same focus every time. Mm-hmm. So every song has always been born from a Travis Giff idea on guitar, and then we just fill the space that he gives us. Mm-hmm. And it's been an amazing journey creating the good catalog that we have right now. It's been a lot of fun. And then with 4-track Pilsner, it's the same kind of idea, because I've had these songs sitting just as acoustic riffs for 20 years in some cases. And Travis was able to take the same approach on the bass, just taking the space where it's given, and Daniel Kelly just finds whatever tempo felt right off the hop. And his instincts has just been it's been fantastic right from the get-go.
Remind me, how did you meet Daniel? How did he come into the fold?
So that's where, like, going back to my first rambling story on the history of where we've come to being 4-track and Stagnant Torment. During that pandemic era, we were on and off with members, and we were only sitting with the Stagnant Torment sound. And we tried band mix, we tried Facebook ads, we tried Kijiji ads, looking for drummers. And we ended up with Daniel Kelly as a drummer for an audition and Caleb Russell as an audition for a drummer. So when we ended up with these 2 drummers in the studio, Daniel was fantastic off the hop playing Stagnant Torment riffs. But then we had Caleb Russell come in out of Kingston, and they're 2 different style of drummers. And what we felt, Caleb was the best choice for Stagnant Torment. He just had a model metal drummer feel, and Daniel just had that indie rock feel. So we were stuck in a weird spot because we didn't want to lose Daniel as a friend and a potential bandmate just because we wanted to stick with one project with Stagnant Torment. So we decided to split up our allotted practice days, and we created 4-track Pilsner out of our extra day. So then we brought on Daniel, and the 2 bands were born out of that idea just because one band was looking for one drummer.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we ended up, Kijiji ads, we ended up with 2 drummers. Mm-hmm. We're like, we don't know these guys off Kijiji. They'll come in, have some fun, and jam. And we like both of them. Then we're like, we need to be greedy here. Like, you don't get 2 drummers that you like, right? And who knows if one guy is going to dig it after a while or the other guy. Life gets in the way, right? So we keep 2 drummers, we'll have at least 1 drummer, right? Kind of quick maths. And then just went from there, man. We've had some good times. We've had the place open for 4 years now, 3-4 years, and jamming as much as we can twice a week. And it's been great, man.
Awesome. I'm still a newcomer to Smiths Falls myself. I've been here, almost 6 years now. January will be 6 years. But I feel like I've been blessed to sort of watch a renaissance of a music scene in Smiths Falls. And I see lots of stuff happening, but I often wonder what it was like growing up here, or what it would have been like growing up here. We're around the same age. Like, what was it coming up in the 90s? Like, what was there a music scene?
Well,
especially for like kids, like, and teenagers. Like, I had I grew up in Ottawa. I had a million places to go for that kind of thing. I played Smiths Falls once when I was like in my young 20s at some community center. I can't remember which one. It was like the only time I ever went to Smiths Falls before moving here.
Oh, crazy.
That was in like probably 2002.
Yeah, it's hard to say where you might have played.
It was
because you were an original project, right?
Yeah, it was like a punk rock show. It was a hardcore show.
Yeah. So
it would have been like a Knights of Columbus, or
that's possible. That would have been Knights of Columbus was right around from here. The other Hanley Hall was another one that might have.
It wasn't Hanley Hall. It was definitely like, if it wasn't a Knights of Columbus, it was like a Legion but it wasn't the Legion.
The Legion here is pretty recognizable.
It was like it was a self-contained like building. Like, it wasn't it wasn't right downtown. It was on like a grassy knoll, I feel like. I don't know. I'm going by memory here.
Yeah,
I feel like it was a Knights of Columbus, or like
Knights of Columbus was actually in the basement of the building just around the corner. It's like a 3-tiered
might be, I don't know. I played a lot of community centers and like red chevrons and Legions. Like, that's where all the punk rock shows happen, because
that would have been awesome.
They would take anyone willing to pay the cheap rental fee.
I know there was like a youth center over by, there was like the arena that they're talking about, I think maybe tearing down in Smiths Falls or getting rid of. I know they've got the new arena, right? But behind it, there's another small building. But previously there was even another arena that was over there where they have the skating rink now, and they got the tank park there.
Yeah, the old barn.
But behind that one, there's a little one, and upstairs they used to have like self-promotion shows and like
upstairs in the youth arena.
Yeah, there was a few different. There's a couple local bands around here. I think that maybe got to see like there was a band called Aggressive Groove. There was Mark Evans and Jason Day and a few other guys in that band jamming out. Then there was The Last Supper. They're from around here. If you're just like, I don't know, I feel like we've seen a lot of musicians grow up around here and play, but I don't know if they really stuck around much.
Yeah. I guess that's the curse of a small town and just not having a very big population. But like when I've had the chance to come see your studio and your jam hall over at the Gallipo. I love it because it reminds me of many other jam halls that I have existed in through the years. The difference being is you're the only band there.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Whereas normally it's like there's like 20 rooms, and if you're there jamming by yourself one night and you get bored, you can like walk down the smoky hallway and knock on some other band's door and hang out with some of your other buddies. You know, I had this jam hall in Guelph like that. That's where I met
Derek.
Yeah, drummer from the '90s band at Ribfest.
Yeah, it's a damn shame that we don't have that camaraderie like you're talking about.
And I think part of that's it's 2024, and I get the impression that teens aren't starting as many bands as they were.
I don't think so, but watching what you've grown here, there are kids interested in music. It's not like I don't think the Capita is different than when we were kids. We're just not immersed in that teenage life.
Yeah, that's why I say it. I say it seems. I say it with absolutely no authority because I'm cognizant of the fact that I'm out of touch. That's why I'm asking so many questions.
No. That's but even going back to like the origin story of me playing music, I was just an original artist in high school, and I sat very different than a lot of the other players that my contemporaries in my classes. A lot of them were just Metallica cover guys. Travis enjoyed original music. That's why we've clicked since high school, meeting each other. We always wanted to write and collab and do what we could. But going back to high school, Trav was just such a fucking better player than I was. And I always got self-conscious in that regard too, where we didn't grow at that time. But original music wasn't respected in the early 2000s around here. Like there might have been a music scene, but there wasn't anything for me. Mm-hmm. I was a punk kid, and I had to go to Ottawa to see the punk shows. I had to go to the Underground or fucking Barrymore's, wherever, because nothing that suited me was ever in this town.
So there was no all-ages venue or anything like that?
Not for things that I wanted to hear. Mm-hmm. Travis had a different flavor of music that he had, like he was mentioning his good buddy Mark Evans. Like he had camaraderie with a bunch of different musicians that were doing their own thing. But I wasn't a hard rock guy. It's not that Travis is completely focused on hard rock, but that's where a lot of that music did sit. He was grunge, hard rock. Like, what else would you say, Trav? Like,
yeah, that's pretty much it. Just making noise, I guess. You know, you weren't listening to we were still probably listening to our parents' country albums because we were subject to it. But we were just trying to do something different, listening to maybe aunts and uncles' tape cassettes that we'd borrow, right, that were a little more heavier. Your Judas Priest, and I grew up on the Metallica stuff too. Like that's kind of what I cut my teeth on playing guitar. It was cool. There was some cool stuff. But for kids growing up, there wasn't a lot of stuff musically. There was, if you were at a house party that your parents brought you to and their friends were jamming, you get subject to that kind of drunken jamming-ness.
Yeah. So who taught you guys how to play?
Just
yourselves?
Tabs and dial-up internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There wasn't a music school back in the 90s that was the go-to place?
I cut my teeth in church, basically. I was shown a few cowboy chords, and I just kind of went through youth groups with that information and grabbing whatever else I could along the way. But the differences between Travis and I, at that teenage years, Trav would be the guitarist sitting in his closet working at perfecting a fucking killer lead that he's learning off of tabs. And I would be sitting there wondering how many songs I can write in G, C, and D, but they all work in their own way. It's being pushed in the right direction from motivation is what you need. But I would say our strongest music scene, like once we got out of high school, a small town just ends up becoming a party drinking environment in your early 20s. Yeah. And I would say the Lee was probably the strongest in supporting music that you were doing, right, Travi?
It was a Rito. It was a mixed bag, yeah. Like
between the Lee and the Rito?
Until we got to the age where we were probably legally allowed in the bar without having to get out, play your set, get the hell out because it's an alcoholic venue. We were playing at this place called the Rito, just downtown. And it was I guess it was an okay place. It wasn't the fanciest kind of place, but it had a great stage. The environment was forgiving to music, but again, it was mostly your cover bands. We're going to come in and play there. Nothing wrong with cover bands. Everybody wants to hear that sort of stuff, right? Yep. But you'd get your original acts very seldomly. There'd be, I think, maybe Ambush or something would come in every once in a while. Or
and they're questionable as an original band as well.
A lot of them are playing covers, but again, it was great because they paid people well back then.
Yeah,
they paid people well. Like I remember us, just being legal drinking age to kind of get into the bar and walking out of there with like $500 cash and 3 free hotel rooms, and we're like, "This is crazy, we're gonna be rock stars. Our first real, payout gig," and it was fun. And then we had the Lee, like Dan mentioned. There was a horse betting kind of bar.
Yeah, if you wanted to compare the two, the Rito was a perfect room for live music. It was just a nice, narrow look directly at the stage and at the bar. There wasn't a bad seat in the house. Great dance floor.
Elevated stage.
The Lee was separated into 2 fucking rooms, which was so odd because there wasn't a true place to put a band. Like, you could have 2 vibes happening in the same place, and it was very easy to have a crowd that wasn't interested in your music that was just disappearing into the opposite room. Mm-hmm. But if that place was rocking with music that you liked, it was a good room too. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and there's one other place too where Rob Roy's is today. It was
the Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter, and they would do live music. Like Rob Roy's does some stuff now, I hear too. I don't know if they're bringing in many original artists. I think it's cover artists. But that seems to be kind of the scene around here. You don't see too many people coming out with original stuff around here because it's easier to make a buck if you're playing something that everybody likes, right?
But we do have a home for original music now in Smiths Falls, as we all know, at Bowie's, and you guys are there this coming Friday. This will be what, number 3 at Bowie's? Am I counting that right, or is this number 4?
No, I think you're right. I think this is 3.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah. Our first year, we took a chance at 2 shows. This year, we were lucky to have a few other gigs, like Ribfest this year, that we had to postpone a second show at Bowie's this year. But it's a great time of year to put this one on, especially Thanksgiving weekend. It's going to be great. I think there's going to be a pile of old friends that'll be in there. It's going to be fun.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to it. Any new surprises? What can we expect? Some new songs, some new material?
Yeah, there was some
new outfits.
There was, just a few new songs we've definitely added to it. We were really close to having a big surprise on this show, but with scheduling conflicts, it ended up having to just be the 3 members. But we are still looking for that 4th member. It will be fantastic if we find that right lead guitar player, if I can say so myself.
Is this your ad?
Yeah.
This is the call out. Lead guitar player wanted for Track Pilsner.
Yeah, come out to the show. Come listen to the music and see if it's something that you dig. And come and talk to us at the show. Be awesome.
What are the requirements? What are the application requirements?
I think as long as you can pick up the music and give it the soul that it needs in the background and step up front when you need.
Must be above 25.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And below 65.
Yeah, we got that 40-year age range that you can hit in. That's perfect.
Nice. Well, I'm enjoying this conversation because I've never really picked lifers' brains my age about the music scene in Smiths Falls. And we've covered the past, and I feel like we've covered the present as well, but what about the future? Let's cover the future. What do you see in the future of this town? What do you perhaps predict for the future of this town? But what do you what would you like to see?
That's a really good question. Makes me think that there's a whole bunch of things I would like to see for this town. I think one of them would be a place where we could get a lot more original music out that's a little bit bigger of a venue to get more heads in the door and more people to experience it. There's some great places around here, but maybe they don't have the capacity that we'd need to throw on something for all the people who want to be a part of it, right? So I think that'd be cool to see a lot more live music out there. I think they built that little gazebo downtown. I think that'll probably bring some music to the town in the summer.
There's been some programming. I haven't had a chance to check out. Well, I checked out the inaugural one because my wife Amber got to play it. She couldn't say no to being the first musician to play a show on that thing.
That's cool.
And they had a whole summer series there. I didn't have the chance to get to them because they were always on Saturdays when I'm working here. But that place is pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't actually went down there to even check out the gazebo that they built there. I know they've been doing some construction on the library and that sort of thing too. So maybe it's not quite all open yet with everything going on down there, but looking forward to what it has to bring in the summer and spring next year. Yeah,
I'm with Trav. Like, you don't want to dwell in the past. You can be proud of where we are presently, and the hopes are definitely in line with Travi. Bowie's has brought life to original music to this town. It's undeniable. We got a town council, a chamber of commerce, a downtown business association that seems to be interested in original thought and original ideas. And it's why 4Track had the opportunity to do something at Ribfest, which was a fantastic opportunity for us. It was so much fun. To play our first outdoor show as a band was incredible.
I really loved the setting there, right underneath the water tower.
It's such a cool spot, man.
Giving directions to Ribfest this year was the easiest.
Yeah,
it was the easiest thing. See that big water tower?
Yeah, we're right there.
Right there.
If you missed it, you're not paying attention.
Yeah, I think we need to do more events there. I mean, I remember there was a little music series that happened a couple summers ago, like in Centennial Park, but not like more over closer to the beach, like not right under the water tower. Like,
yeah, I remember seeing.
I thought that was great.
I remember seeing Rob and his wife play, and I think that was the first time when Shannon was running the booking. But going back to what original music and the music scene of town could be, I think we're starting to build that collective hive mind. Like I mentioned, I wish we had more of what you had in Guelph with all those practice rooms of all those bands that can workshop together, network, set up things. Like, all you need is 3 bands and you've got a great show to put on for people. And the 2 people on the mics right now are 2 bands in Smith Falls right now. So we can only do so much together.
I always found that to be an inevitable part of any music scene, be it the town small or large, it was always kind of incestuous.
Yeah. Even talking to some of the people that I know out of the Ottawa scene, it's very similar. It's very similar. One drummer leads one band, and
Joins 5 more.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
I think that's probably a real missing component. You know, me and Amber are doing our best to, you know, get kids excited about music. But one thing we definitely notice is, like, you know, we've been doing the music school for 4 years now, and we don't really have a lot of teens, you know. And every time we've had, like, you know, we started with a student that's like 11 or 12. By the time they turn 13, 14, 15, we often lose them because they get interested in other teenage things. And they may not be, you know, quitting their instrument or you know, or leaving it behind completely, but there's certainly something that's, you know, other things drawing their attention.
Wow.
Whereas there's, and you know what, like, I understand it's just coming to lessons every week is maybe not the level of excitement a teenager needs to stay really into something, but we don't have the band practice rooms. We don't have I mean, even I remember in high school, every year was a big event to have like band wars and band competitions. That was, and so like,
we had the
and
same.
people wanted to be, so you did have that.
Yeah.
In high school? Oh.
Yeah, there was a battle of the bands.
Yeah.
I was just a solo act, so I never entered, you know, but...
and like I said, maybe I'm just out of touch. And my kid's not in high school yet, so I haven't heard about it. But I haven't seen any Battle of the Bands posters around town in the 5 years I've been here, you know?
No, there's none that I've seen around here. I know that Perth used to have something like that. I don't know if it was a Battle of the Bands, but they had, like, the Precious Metal Meltdown. They used to have that up in the Perth area. There's a lot of music, I think, up in that kind of neck of the woods. I think it was down in Stewart Park or something. They used to have a bunch of music down there.
Yeah, Perth was strong. There was a lot of great players out of there too.
So we need a jam hall. We do need a large capacity venue. I mean,
for sure.
Music at the theater is nice, but it's not going to do the punk rock kids, right?
No.
Nobody wants to go see a punk rock soft cedar show.
No.
Unless it's like, I don't know, 60-year-old punk rock bands, you know? And then, so an all ages venue, or perhaps even just an all ages night.
Yeah.
At a venue.
Like going back 8 years ago, before the inception of the two bands we're talking about today, there was a moment where I was trying to run an open mic before Bowie's came in at the Legion in Smith Falls. And I was really focused at that point in time because my daughter at that time was a teen, and I knew from her perspective that there were kids that were interested in music. So I was hoping that I could create this open mic environment that wasn't structured, that it was only adults allowed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being at the Legion, it was an all-ages venue.
Yeah.
They didn't put a cap on me saying, no, 18 or older, you know? And I worked really hard at going to all the high schools within the territory. And I think out of 3 years running that open mic, I think I might have had 3 kids come through.
Wow.
3 kids. But it was also the majority of every night was pretty focused on old country. So I think if word gets out that it's music that they're not interested in, it's easy for them not to show up, right? So I think, like you were saying, that all ages thing, as long as you can capture somebody's attention off the hop and show them, we can provide you something that you want to listen to. I don't think it would be hard to give these kids with very little to do in this town an awesome night to remember.
Yeah.
Week in, week out, even if it was quarterly. It doesn't even have to be weekly. As if we could do 4 shows a year that gave them something to look forward to, I think that would be awesome. It'd be really awesome.
No, exactly. So I think the Rib Fest was the last real thing that was really available to the public here in the Falls. Like, there was probably the open stage over at Lower Reach. They used to have that. They'd set up the stage, and, you know, people would come in of different ages too. I think KFC was sponsoring them for a bit, giving everybody chicken wings and chicken if they came and played, something like that. But I don't think that's been on for a while. I think that was run by Bev Hitchens years ago. She was a local from the town. But it was pretty cool. It was a nice spot over there at Laura Reach. Big stage. People would come of all ages, kind of listen and kind of get up and play. That was kind of what was around here when we were younger as well, too. It was just a couple different open mics, Merrickville, place like that. Yeah, I'd like to see that, like you said, the shared band rooms, rehearsal spaces, to be able to network, to have that, make it exciting for people to want to get into music. Mm-hmm. I know it's tough nowadays with, the town's growing quick. So there's not a lot of space for it. People were buying up all the real estate, not really setting up these places. They were just more, hey, let's build something for people to live because there's a shortage of kind of residents around here. So when that settles down a little bit, like to see some of these places pop up and be venues for people to experience music.
Mm-hmm. So what music is hitting hard for you guys right now? You got some new stuff on your playlists?
I wish there was. I have 2 young daughters and a wife, and I'm pretty much subjected to pop music 90% of my time. Any time that I'm trying to focus on music for myself, I'm really in a nostalgic place. I just get in the car, I put on CDs from my past, mm-hmm. whether it's East Coast rock, stuff from the grunge era. Korn is definitely in my heart right now. I've been listening to the Issues album. It's there's something special about Jonathan Davis. That guy was just incredible. I love that. I love the sound that they have. But new music it takes a lot of effort to find. It might be different now with Spotify and stuff, but I truly, in my heart of hearts, I've always hated the streaming platforms, and that's why I've stuck to my CDs. I purchased those because I enjoyed the artist, mm-hmm. and I've gotten more than my money's worth out of supporting those people and buying those albums. But I just love them. I love them to death.
I just started buying CDs again.
Did you?
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago. I've been reading these articles online about how CDs might be coming back. I don't think I believe it. I don't think I believe it at all. I'm hopeful, and I'm crossing my fingers because I'd love it. I'd love it if CDs came back. I do know that, there is a trend of people wanting to own stuff again. People are starting to sort of reject the whole notion of, own nothing and just rent it forever. And they're hungry to own and to collect a little bit more than they were perhaps a few years ago. And there was this, big statistic that came out a couple years ago about how for the first time in 20 years, CD sales went up.
Nice.
Year over year. That was my first reaction. But then I just kind of realized oh, wait, all that means is that year somebody bought 10 more CDs.
Yeah. And what's the metrics on that?
They've been going down year over year, and they bottomed out, and somebody bought a box set at Walmart, and that counted as up by 10%. Because that's how low we are. And I don't think they've climbed since then.
Yeah, but to reinforce your point, I was at Toys R Us mm-hmm. a few months ago, and they actually brought in HMV. So I think Toys R Us Corporation and HMV, whatever still exists, because I thought Toys R Us US tanked. I thought that completely bankrupt. And then the Canadian side of Toys R Us was the only thing that existed. But I thought HMV was the same kind of thing, completely bankrupt and a name that doesn't exist anymore. But Toys R Us now has a full audio section of CDs and vinyl and T-shirts. It was wild to see.
Interesting.
Wild.
Interesting. T-shirts are the last vestige for good band merch and artist merch, both from the collector's standpoint and owning something practical, and from the artist standpoint of being able to sell something that you're actually going to make any money off of, especially for an independent artist. Because vinyl might be cool, but maybe you'll sell it for $25, but it cost you $20 to make. There's such little
Yeah, the margins are
margin in
Yeah,
there. And that's really what's sad about CDs. Is it was, it wasn't a secret, but like the markup on CDs was huge, at least when comparing the physical cost of making it, which even back in the 90s, it was like per CD average $1.50, maybe $2 if you had a shorter run of CDs, but then you could sell it for $20.
Yeah.
And luckily you can't download a t-shirt.
No.
And people, still need to be clothed. Until Mark Zuckerberg invents a t-shirt that you can just press a button, it has a different band logo on it every day.
Yeah.
Well, as long as
washes itself.
Yeah.
it once he gets his AR goggles on everybody, then who knows?
Yeah, exactly. You'll just have a blank t-shirt. Nobody able to tell what band shirt is unless they're wearing their stupid
We can
glasses.
just personalize the look of you. It's like, he's got a Megadeth shirt on right now, man. Exactly.
It'll just be a filter that if you move your face too fast, the filter won't quite catch up.
Yeah. Still buffering. He's got like half a beard and
I'm going to have a beard today to everybody else.
exactly. Wife asks, I shaved.
Well. So no new bands then from you. What about you, Trav? New bands? New music you're into?
Bands.
I need some new stuff to listen to. I'm asking you because I need to know.
I don't know if I listen to really new stuff, I guess. I think it's just discovering some old stuff that maybe I wasn't into at that time that it came out.
Yeah.
Let's
Captain Beefheart?
Yeah, or like
Have
Cyndi
you discovered
Lauper.
Beefheart yet?
Cyndi Lauper and the greatest hits.
Yeah, I can't remember when Captain Beefheart came across my algorithm, but fucking very strange. Very strange.
I haven't checked him out, but
Trout Mask Replica. It's a masterpiece.
I don't know. Dano's been sending me some interesting Instagram reels lately, so
Yeah,
I
but
could
that
just
ain't
imagine.
music.
Yeah, I could just imagine what Trout Mask is or whatever.
Oh, the last wild one that popped up in my algorithm, which I'll never understand. A guy made a mask out of bananas, and somehow the mask was protective, and he jammed like M80s in every single banana sticking out of his face, and he was just lighting each M80 while they exploded in his head. I have no idea what's going on with Instagram, but I wish it was presenting me new music and not this weird, creepy stuff, but it just won't disappear. Just every day, something stranger and stranger. It's the weirdest thing.
I think there's so much content out there right now, and now that we have access to all the streaming sites, you don't like hear a band that your friends are listening to because you're out networking with them. Hey, you got to hear this band, and they're really great, and everybody gets excited about them, right? It's the market. The musical market is so saturated that I hear a band, I'm like, I really like that band. And then the song's over and they played 12 other bands that I kind of like too. Mm-hmm. And I didn't remember that first band because maybe they all kind of sounded the same. And I think based on your algorithm, it's going to feed you music of the same nature anyway.
I got to say, I'm not a big fan of whatever algorithm Spotify has going on. The stuff they suggest to me it misses the mark.
Does it?
Yeah. No, I don't think I find any new music on Spotify. I find new music on TikTok.
I have heard TikTok is very strong when it comes to that stuff, but it's just one platform that I would love to reduce my amount of time that I'm sitting on my phone, and TikTok will grab me. I've got to keep that thing off my phone.
It grabs you for sure. Yeah, it grabs you. It's good I find it good for discovering new music because it's like that part you were saying, like, oh, you listen to it and then you listen to 12 other artists and then you kind of lost it. Kind of reminds me of the radio. It's like, oh, the DJ didn't say the name of the friggin' artist, so now I don't know who it is,
That was the worst.
Yeah. Point I was getting at is that on TikTok it's a place I discover music, but it's not a place I listen to music because you generally only get samples. Like it's possible to upload a whole music video, but it's just
no one's gonna watch it.
It's not what people do on that platform. So they'll upload 30 seconds of a song. But I've discovered some cool new artists on TikTok.
What about the YouTube? Like everybody keeps saying that YouTube seems to be
YouTube's good. It's probably my favorite place to consume actual content. And as a musician, it's also great for not just music and music videos, but drum playthroughs or guitar playthroughs or gear walkthroughs, pedal board rundowns of some of your favorite guitarists, like drum lessons from some of the best drummers out there, it's a bottomless pit of all that stuff. I think the algorithm for suggesting content on YouTube is pretty good. You watch one video, the suggested videos, or you're going to find something there that you want to go to next pretty easily.
Yeah, until your kids get your account, dude. And then it's...
Yeah, I know. I keep a separate account.
I should have done that years ago.
On purpose, because otherwise it would be all Ninja Kids, Ninja Squad. Fun Squad and Ninja Kids. That's... Addie and Jillian, Fun Squad, Ninja Kids.
Yeah, mine are still flooded from the old Ryan days 10 plus years ago. Just insane. No, but new music, like I shouldn't discount being in the original music scene within the Ottawa territory the last 3 years. Like truly that's where I've found my new music.
Yeah.
It's been incredible. The last show that Stagnant played, there was a band called Don't Tell Sarah out of Cornwall. And that vocalist had high hair metal 80s vocals with a modern approach. Like it was absolute madness on how his screams were, his pitch control. It was incredible. You're not going to find those people, no matter whether you use TikTok. It doesn't matter. They are so local. It's hard to find those people unless you actually go to live shows. Mm-hmm. Like they're making a push. James LeClaire was just at Bowie's yesterday. I've met James. I know his bass player. A beautiful songwriter. These people are all over the Ottawa Valley in small little rooms. Unfortunately, right now, Bowie's and Ottawa and Kingston are the only places you're going to find these people. Yeah, 10 Constellations is another one that I just loved. I found them on the music scene, and they were just this incredible 90s indie rock, alt feel, mandolins, beautiful drums, beautiful harmonies. There's plenty of them out there. There's countless. The hard rock scene's super deep too. Stagnant's trying to make a push to get in with these people, but
this takes time.
It takes time, but we're not rubbing shoulders with these people in their jam spaces. That's where a lot of these relationships started.
Yeah.
But experiencing that too, like you had mentioned, are we listening to new music? And I think the way that we're getting it fed to us is not through streaming services. It's actually being part of the scene, going out and experiencing the Power Naps play or Lazy Lung or Graven or, like you said, 10 Constellations, or probably at least 100 or 200 other bands that we physically met this year. It's been exciting, right? So it's like the stuff that maybe you're consuming off the streaming sites or your old CDs are probably the same familiar stuff that you're listening to, but now you're like, okay, those guys have kind of made it. Let's kind of rub elbows with these guys. Let's hear what they've got to do, because they're in the same wheelhouse we are right now, and let's kind of explore that journey together where we're all kind of, who'd you meet? How did you get to where you are today?
Yeah. One thing that I've noticed really since the internet got big is I think it really changed the way music evolves, because now you can have some kid in India watching a band from New Jersey on YouTube, and that could be his favorite band, and that could be the driving force of his musical influence. And that's so easy and so prevalent, that idea of consuming anything from anywhere, anytime, that we've kind of lost that insularness of local scenes. There was New York punk. There was London punk. There was Bay Area thrash. There was
Seattle grunge.
Exactly. And I think, first of all, as musicians, I think people probably overestimate how much music and new music that musicians themselves actually consume, because, you know, we give our time to writing and practicing. That's our music time. So we don't actually have as much time to just go out and listen to music as an everyday fan might.
Yeah, I think that's one of the hardest things to accept.
We've reached, I think, a tipping point between YouTube and Spotify and all these other places where it's so saturated that it's hard to get your stuff out there. It's harder to get heard. You know, if you were internet savvy in 2008, it was a lot easier to make waves on the internet than today, because there's just so much competition out there. Everybody vying for attention, everybody vying for spots, that I think a lot of people, I think to a certain extent, musicians are overwhelmed, disillusioned by the prospect of trying to go viral or anything, or even trying to process what it means to try and tackle all that stuff, when it just seems all for naught. Because even the most of the people we see with like a certain amount of success from that, what is it actually doing for them? It's not paying their bills, you know? So it's a little easier, I think, to just say, no, I need my time, and I'm going to focus on my music and playing with real people and experiencing music live. That I feel like we're starting to get some of that community and local influence back a little bit. People's eyes are turning back to that, the desire to be part of that.
I think so, buddy. It truly starts in the community, seeing that there is more than just what the radio feeds them or what their algorithm feeds them. Once people actually sit down and experience the emotional and the spiritual journey that a live performance can take somebody, that is something a screen can't give you. It's something that your CD can't give you either. Seeing the live emotions in somebody's music is truly special. It's truly special. And I think when we're talking about the future for kids, teens, whatever, I am noticing that if CD sales are going up, even if they're in a small margin, I doubt it's our age group that are purchasing them again. I would guess it's more those teens that are seeing their parents' CD collection.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I want to get my own. I want to get my own. I want to explore this new stuff.
Well, what's next, right? Like, we had vinyl, we had tapes, we had CDs, to MP3s, to, you know, Walkmans, all those wonderful devices. And then once it's streaming, we just keep getting higher and higher bit rates and 3D audio.
Do we? They keep promising it.
I don't know.
I never hear anything. Like, I don't think people care. I don't think people actually care about that.
No.
Just got to sound good. What does it matter if it's 3D, 4D, 8K?
I did most of my listening on cassette tapes, and
me too.
Like,
Man.
I mean,
it didn't sound great, but it felt good.
Yeah, I mean, like empirically, they were the worst.
Yeah,
but they were fine.
Yeah,
they were absolutely fine.
They didn't
Exactly.
skip,
and they sounded worse every time you listened to them.
they did. Yeah, they just keep stretching and stretching.
But they were good. They were fine. Yeah.
We explored as Stagnant this year was like, you know what, a milestone for us would be, let's get something out. Let's get something out. We don't have anything on any of these streaming platforms. So we released Fist Fight this year. And, you know, I don't think any of us were expecting to make even any money, right? But looking at it, should we have done CDs? Like, I was like, it probably cost me more for my internet connection to upload the 15 cents the DistroKid paid me out to show everybody how much money we made on the single.
Yeah.
So it was like, we could have took that, at least maybe made $10 off a CD at a local club that we played, even if nobody listened to it.
And that's the thing. Some people buy a CD just to support. I know I'm not going to listen to it. It's like a Stag and Doe ticket. I can't go, but I'll buy one to support.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it.
No, exactly. And I think we knew that coming out of the gate, knowing that we didn't have visions of grandeur trying to make this large sum of money. So it was really just throw it out there and let people hear it for free.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I think at the end of the day, everybody has that pipe dream of like, this thing's going to go viral, man. And like the phones are going to be ringing off. They're going to be sending us plane tickets to go down there and jam with Ozzy and Dolly Parton or whatever. But we're going down there to jam with them. But, you come back and you see that 15 cents and you're like, that's kind of discouraging. But again, what are you expecting? You're giving it away for free. If you're expecting some money, then
the conversation about streaming is can mostly be split into two different conversations, because we stream music and we stream visual content, which has audio and music within it. But I'm talking shows and binge-worthy TV and movies. We watch Netflix. You want to watch a movie? What streaming station is it on? Am I going to find it on Netflix? Am I going to find it on Prime? Rarely am I ever going to find it on both. Yet with music, the expectation is just, it's got to be everywhere.
Yeah.
You upload to DistroKid and you're on iTunes. You can be an independent filmmaker, make a banger of a film, and a network will buy it from you if they like it. You have to go to Netflix if you want to watch the new Dave Chappelle. But if you want to listen to the new Bruce Springsteen, it's everywhere.
Wasn't Garth Brooks the only artist that tried going exclusive through, like, I think it was Amazon?
Maybe.
He was Garth is strange.
I mean, he's got his own like 24/7 channel on Sirius XM.
Yeah, he's a bad example, but it was just one to bring up. Like, he was the only one that I ever heard that was trying to do something exclusive for his full catalog.
As somebody who releases music myself, I don't even want to put my stuff on Spotify at this point. I'd rather sell 20 CDs to people I know and have that be the extent of my music income versus making zero on Spotify and then complaining about it and feeling like a bitch because I'm not actually going to put my money where my mouth is and say, you know what, I'm not participating.
You're right.
That's at least why I started buying CDs again. I was like, I want it so bad that if I'm not doing it, how can I be sitting there trying to encourage others to?
It's almost better for you. I've bought CDs, and I'll be an honest citizen that I don't listen to everything I buy. I'm like, you know what? I like you. I like the stuff that you're doing. I'm here to support you and your gig. I'm going to buy the CD. I came to watch you in person. I might never throw on your CD again, but you know what? I've got it as a piece of history that's like, yeah, I went and seen this guy and experienced something. It was fun to me.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Stop streaming. Except for this podcast.
Exactly.
This is okay. You want to give your music away for free, just release it as a podcast. That's a great way to do it.
That's not a bad idea.
Because then it's completely in your control, too. They can index your stuff, but you can take it down. It's on your website. There's also Bandcamp. That's a pretty good tool. You ever played with Bandcamp?
No, it'll definitely be the first avenue for the 4-track releases. Again, because Travis and I are basically business partners with this DistroKid account. Well, once we figure out what we're doing with the 4-track recordings, I'm sure we'll use the DistroKid, but I really do like that Bandcamp platform.
Any hints on those recordings? When can we expect some listenable at home material?
I'm hoping by the end of the year we've got a couple released, but again, just with life, everybody knows there's only a certain amount of time, and Stagnant was at the forefront for our recording and our attention for the releases. So I'm extremely proud of where Stagnant Torment sits today. Travis mentioned it. We've got Fist Fight out on Spotify and all that stuff. And we're hoping for Halloween. We've got another surprise down the pipe, and it's going to be good. But the main focus is Bowie's on Friday for 4-track, and then the remainder of the year will probably be working on where we're sitting for recordings, because the material's ready. It's ready to go. I've got about 6 songs that have got rough tracks that sound pretty good, but they need some work on them. But
well, you heard it, folks. Maybe it'll be Spotify. Maybe it'll be Bandcamp. Maybe it'll be hand-signed, burned-at-home CDRs. We don't know yet, but for now, the only place you get to hear 4-Track Pilsner is at Bowie's this Friday, October 11th. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thanks.
We got Dan Marshall. We got Travis Giff of 4-Track Pilsner and Stagnant Torment right here on Smiths Falls, on a Smiths Falls podcast. Thanks again, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
It was a good time.
And that, friends, was my conversation with Travis Giff and Dan Marshall of 4-Track Pilsner and Stagnant Torment. Check out 4-Track Pilsner at Bowie's this Friday, October 11th. Thanks for tuning in, folks. And a big thank you again to Say2 Bakery, Royal LePage Realty, and Panko Financial Solutions. And, of course, from my very own The Hub Music and Art. Come see us. We got guitars. We got paintings. We got music lessons. We got a vinyl section. We got all sorts of awesome stuff here for you to check out. The Hub Music and Art. We even have a recording studio in the back. That's where I'm doing this right now. This whole podcast thing happens here. Thanks for tuning in to Smiths Falls On. We will see you next time, Smiths Falls. Bye-bye.